Welcome to Auto PV. Our AutoCAD plugin is designed to optimize the design process for residential and small commercial projects. If you would like to follow along, feel free to download the drawing file in the description below. Thank you. Okay, so let's combine what we learned so far. So right now we're going to be utilizing the PVBound command, PVArray command, PVAdd command, PVAtt command, and the RRafter command. These commands are going to utilize the landscape panel block, portrait panel block, and the attachment block, as well as the zero layer, boundary layer, obstructions layer, and rafters and array layer, array one layer. We're going to start off with a simple roof shape. I usually start off with the PVBound command. Select the closed polyline, select the lines that you want at a 36-inch offset, and then hit enter, select lines at a 0-inch offset, and then our boundary is set. Next, I want to add panels. I'm going to use the PVArray command. Select panels. I have some panels over here. I picked a landscape panel. Pick a portrait panel. You select your panel, the angle, pick 2 points on the ridge, select the boundary, spacing between the rows, 1/4 inch is fine, spacing between the columns, 1/4 inch is fine, line it to the left, line the panel to the boundary edge. I'm going to hit no, so it keeps it uniform. And in direction, we're going to go from top to bottom. Fills in the panels, place any individual panels. I'm going to hit no. Then I'm going to use the RRafter command. Spacing between the rafters is going to be 24 inches. I'm going to pick 2 points on the ridge. Select the roof plane, not the boundary. And it adds in all the rafters. And then now we're going to do the PVAtt command. Select all of our panels. Attachment spacing is going to be 4 feet. It's going to be in line. And it's going to add in all of our attachments there. So that's a basic roof shape. And then if we have multiple roof planes, well, let me do the PV boundary first. PV boundary, I'm going to select this closed line. I'm just going to leave it as is just to go through this a little quicker. So I'm going to select the roof and then just hit enter twice. And those are our boundaries for our solar panels. I'm going to do PVAdd this time. And we're just going to pick this panel here. Angle is going to be 0. I'm going to select this boundary. And then I'm going to do keep the same row spacing, the same column spacing. I'm going to use the fill command, and I'm just going to basically fill up this roof. And then hit enter, and then repeat the command one more time. So I'll do a couple landscape panels back here. But the angle is the same, the boundary is here. Spacing between the rows, I'm just going to do 24 inches. Spacing between columns, 1/4 inch is fine. And then I'm going to use the fill command and just basically drag everything here. And then that's our layout for the north side. And then I'll just add a couple panels on this roof over here. So the angle is going to be 2 points on the eave. Select the boundary. Enter the spacing between the rows. I'm going to go back to 1/4 inch. Spacing between the columns, 1/4 inch is fine. And then I'm just going to hit F for fill. And I'm going to fill in the roof just like that. Let's just say that's fine for us. And On this side, I'll leave the side blank. Now we're going to go ahead and do our RRafter command. 2 feet. The angle is going to be 2 points on the eave or the ridge. I'm going to select that roof plane and this one. Those are our rafters. Do the same thing for the east and west roofs. 2 feet is fine. Change the angle. Select that roof and this roof. And then now we do our attachments. Select all the panels, and if they're all 4 feet and staggered, then it just lays out all of our attachments. And we're gonna, repeat the process on more just complex shapes, so we get an idea of how that works. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so PVBound first. Select the closed polyline, and if I want 36-inch walkway along this end, select all of those. If I want 0 here and here, select those, and then I'm going to do PVArray. We're going to fill up this roof with portrait panels. The angle is going to be along the ridge. Select the boundary. Spacing is fine. Spacing between columns is fine. The alignment is going to be to the left. We're going to hit no for align to boundary edges, so we keep the panels uniform. And the direction, we're going to go from bottom to the top. Do we want to place any individual panels? Let's just say no. And then if this is the only roof we're doing, we're going to do RRafter, and then select the spacing. I'm going to do 16 inches, pick 2 points on the ridge, and then I'm going to select the roof line. It adds in all the rafters. Then I do PVAtt for the attachment command. Select all of my panels, hit enter. These attachments are going to be 4 feet and in line. And now I have my roof layout done here. If you have, different angles, roof, that's set at different angles. Let's say you don't like to rotate your drawing, you just like to draw it, as true north. Then basically do the same commands. PVBound. If I know I'm going to be using these 2 roofs, for example, then I want to keep 18 inches here. Maybe I'll do 36 inches from this ridge line, 36 inches from that one. Enter, 0 there. And on the eave, then repeat the command again for this roof plane. Again, maybe 36 inches here. And all of these are going to be 0. So there's my layout. There's my fire paths. And then now I'm going to do PVAdd. Select one or more panels. So I'm going to select these 2. And then now I'm going to pick the angle. And then select the boundary. And then the spacing is fine as is. And now I'm going to just use the fill command. I'm going to start from here and just fill it in this direction. And if I'm satisfied with that, then I'll hop over to the next roof. Let's say I do these landscape. Specify the angle, pick 2 points on the ridge or the eave, the boundary, row spacing, column spacing, and then pick where you're adding your panel, or use your fill command to add multiple panels at once. So let's just say I wanted to do that, and then add 2 panels here. And if I'm satisfied with that, I hit enter. Now I add in my rafters, the RRafter command, and then pick the spacing. I'm going to do 24. Go ahead and pick 2 points along the ridge for the angle. You'll notice, when you have a bunch of different polylines, it might be difficult to select the one you want. You can always find a point on the boundary, on the roof plane, where the boundary is, right at the end. So usually on the eave is an easy place to find a line along the roof plane that you can select. So we're going to select that roof plane, and then just repeat the same thing for the other roof. It's going to have the same rafter spacing, different angle. So I'm going to pick 2 points along this ridge. I click this line here. That works too. I can also select multiple if I wanted to, and then just deselect one. So it just depends on what's easier. But if I do that, then we'll see that you did select the boundary. So make sure that you're only picking the roof plane. Hit enter. And yeah, those are your rafters. So next is the attachments. We're gonna go through adding attachments on all of these panels, and we're going to do them at 6 feet apart and staggered. So it'll add in the attachments there on all of these panels. Yeah, and then we can repeat the process again for a small commercial roof. So we're going to go with RRafter. Since we already have a boundary here on a commercial roof, it's set to like 48 inches around the entire roof line. So we're going to just keep that as is. Pick the angle for the rafters. And then now we're going to go ahead and put in the panels. So I'm just going to use a PVArray command to fill it all up at once. Select the panel. I'm going to go with the portrait panel. The angle is going to be 0. The boundary. Select the boundary. We'll put a large spacing and put 36 inches between the rows, and then a 1/4 inch between the column is fine. Align it to the left. Align it to the boundary edges. I'm going to hit no. Pick 2 points. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So if we're satisfied with that layout, we hit yes. We hit no to place individual panels. Or if we want to add panels, we hit yes. I'm just going to add some landscape panels here. So if I want to add a row here or add just some panels, I just click on them and add them. So I will eventually have an option to add that fill option, so we can just click and drag and add multiple panels. But this is meant to just fill in with 1 or 2 panels with the PVArray command. So I would just hit enter. And then now we just add in our attachments with the PVAtt command. I'm going to select all the panels. We're going to do 8 feet apart and inline. And it adds in all the attachments there. And yeah, and then we'll just do one last example. Just so you see it's the same thing with just different let's say you have different rafter sizes on these roofs. You have 2 feet apart on these two, 12 inches rafter spacing on this one, and let's just say 48 inches apart on this one. So if that's the case, I can go to PVAdd command, select one or more panels, select the portrait panel again, and then angle is going to be 0. I'm not going to select the boundary, so I can just add panels all throughout here right now. Spacing between the rows, 36 inches, columns, 1/4 inch. I'm going to use the fill command. So let's just say I want to do that there. That can go there. Now I'm going to just add some landscape panels just to switch it up. Angle is going to be 0. This time I will select this boundary, and then spacing is fine. I keep everything the same. Okay, so that's that, and then I'll just do this bottom roof real quick. Actually, let me do that one with PVArray, so it just fills in on its own. So PVArray, 0 angle, select the boundary, spacing is fine, put it to the left, I'm going to hit no, and then we're going to just fill it out from top to bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do PVAtt command, and then we're just going to select everything all at once. 8 feet apart is fine, and then we're going to do inline. So there's all of our attachments. So one thing I did notice before I even entered the command, these here that have 48 inches between, your panel can get stuck in the middle between 2 outside rafters where it's only landing on one. So it's gonna only put in one set of attachments. Try and catch that before you add in your attachments, otherwise you'll just basically have to come in and modify the command, or you can hit undo to undo the attachment command and then adjust the panels and then do the attachment command. But yeah, that's the run through of all the commands that we've learned so far and how they work individually on creating a layout with the fire clearance, the rafters, the racking attachments, and the layout for your solar panels, depending on the parameters that you want. Thank you for watching. If you would like to purchase our product, feel free to go to our website. It's linked in the description below. If you would like to leave a comment or provide any feedback, you can do that below or directly on our website. Thank you for your support, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.